Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. So now, of course, my alarm is going off. That's not good. But thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate it. This is the first show, so this is actually going to be a very special time for me. And I'm so excited that you all are here. Please let me know where you're joining me from. Type into the comments and tell me what your what state you're calling from so I can see you and acknowledge you. That would be super awesome. Um, I wanted to just tell you just a little bit about why Conversations with Kim started. So, with everything that's going on today in politics, in the world, in the news, in our families with the COVID, I just kind of felt that we needed a community, a safe place where we can come, share ideas, and have more positive type environments. I see a lot of different negativity that's happening, and I want to create a safe place where we can come, and be inspired. And that's basically what Conversations with Kim is all about. We'll have different guests coming with different types of expertise, and they'll be sharing either their personal stories or their particular profession. You'll have an opportunity to interact with them, ask questions, and we should only be here maybe 30 minutes or so. So I appreciate, again, you all stopping what you're doing, coming in, supporting Conversations with Kim, because this is something that's really dear to my heart. Um, with COVID-19, I didn't know how I was going to address this, but you know, please practice safe measures. Whatever that means for you, protect yourself, protect your family, protect just protect yourself. It's an invisible and deadly virus, and we definitely don't know where we get it from. So just be mindful when you're out and about that you're taking the most safe measures. I definitely want to make sure that I had an opportunity to address that and not overlook the fact that we all are still wearing masks and hopefully practicing social distancing. So I want to just tell you today that our topic is recovering after career setback. To me, this was the best first video because a lot of people are having to recover because their jobs are not in existence right now. They might be laid off, unemployment numbers are high. So, this is actually the best topic for seriously that I felt like we could start off with and give you some, solid content that would allow you to get a better understanding of what Conversation with Kim has to offer. A little bit about our guest. So, James Gilmer is a results driven, influential leader with a career long track record in marketing, brand management, and profitable growth. Listen, he's been in his profession for some time, and I am just humbled to have him here with us. Please welcome James Gilmer.
Wow, Kim, I appreciate that introduction. I am so sorry. I see that my camera is not on for whatever reason. I don't know how to turn it on. It was on, but anyway, are you okay with me just continuing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We would love to see you though. I can hear you. Perhaps down at the bottom of your screen, it might say, something about your camera or something, or I'm not sure, but we would definitely like to kind of work through this just a minute to try to get you back. And so while my team is working with James, we're going to get ourselves prepared, because even if we can't see him on the video, we definitely are going to get the benefit of him still being here. And of course, I'll have him back. So that's not going to be something that you'll have to worry about. I do want to invite you to comment, to interact in the chat, to let me know that you're here. While he's talking, please go ahead and type in questions, because at the end, we'll have an opportunity to circle back and get some of those questions and be able to present them to him, so you can get a better idea on a personal note how you might be able to benefit from him being here on the show. I believe they're still having some technical difficulties, but you got me. And I'm just, again, really glad that you're here. And let me just tell you, next week, we are going to have a assistant principal of a inner city school. So for those of you that are parents that have children going back to school, they're going to be homeschooled or going back in, this will be the time to tune in, because she will be able to speak to some at-home concerns that she has as a assistant principal. And then she can kind of address your concerns as a parent. And if you have students, if you have your children that might want to tune in, they might have a question for her. So, everyone's welcome. This is a village. Everybody can come in and participate. And I just am glad that you will be able to attend with us next week. So I'm not sure what's going on with James. I want to kind of bring him back, even if we're not able to see him, so that we can go ahead and keep going and moving forward. James, are you there?
I am.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm having some issues with the camera, but I would like to start by saying thank you for having me, number one. And number two, this is, as you alluded to, is a very interesting topic at this time. You're right. A lot of people are losing their jobs, being downsized and everything else. And let me just start with my journey. I mean, I always projected myself to be out there to end up being a president of a company or a chief marketing officer of an organization. And sometimes your dreams and the dreams of people who's managing your career sometimes doesn't match up. I can remember graduating from business school in Connecticut and moving to Dallas and having a dream job as a director of retail marketing for Sara Lee for one of their divisions. At the time, they were about $47 billion in revenue annually. And, they owned a number of different divisions from Sara Lee to Coach Handbag to Jimmy Dean Sausage, Ballpark Franks, and so forth and so on. And I just thought I had that was where I was going to live for the rest of my professional career. 3 years in, they started diminishing and on downsizing people and selling off different divisions. And I got caught into that process. And let me say, I was sad because I wasn't prepared. I had, nothing, no contingency plan, because I just thought this is where I was going to be for the rest of my professional career. And it caught me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And so
walk me through what led to the what led to this. Walk me through the setback time, because we know that you were at Sara Lee and you were in a top executive, and so like you said, it kind of caught you off guard. Walk me through the setback time period and how you recovered.
Well, the setback was not having employment and, again, thinking I'm a superstar, that somebody would be knocking on my door instantaneously. Look, I've invested 2 years of my life to get my MBA and nobody was knocking. No, nobody was calling me and everything else. And what I needed to do is kind of reinvent myself and everything else. And so I started to create a website to where people can view my credentials and my capabilities and some of the things that I've done in the corporate space. I also started sending out examples of my work with my resume and everything else. It took a little longer than I anticipated from the time that I was downsized to the time that I was picked back up again. That was 5 months. And 5 months in a situation where you don't know if you're going to be working again seems like an eternity.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So you said that you created your own website that just kind of focused on your abilities and your resume, basically. And then when you sent your resume to other companies, you're saying that you gave life examples. You went the extra mile and added another packet, maybe.
Yeah, with
Talk about your okay.
yeah, with the attachment of my resume, most definitely some examples of what I've done. Depending on the opportunity that was available. Now, the interesting thing about maybe a couple of those examples were that people would take your idea and then implement it into their own system and everything else. So I had to be extremely cautious about how I wanted to expose myself and my capabilities to some of these individuals who really wasn't as honest or ethical as I thought they would have been and everything. And one of the other things too, I would encourage anybody is to allow people to understand what you're going through. If you keep that bottled in and look, I did it. I wouldn't do it again. But if you keep that bottled in and not allow people to assist you and to know what you're going through and everything else, it will be a long, long journey alone.
Yeah, I totally get that. I was unemployed for a couple months for a little bit, and so I totally understand that. Um, so James, you've had your own business now for about 12 years, and I know that you have your background in marketing, but your business, is it only marketing or do you offer other services?
I offer other services. I mean, most definitely marketing is the core, but with that comes analytical work, assessment of companies, small company businesses. I also, if there's event marketing opportunities, I do solicitation for sponsorship opportunities attached to those events, as well as activations and everything else. So I'm a full service entity for a small business that is looking for marketing initiatives, as well as any big business that's looking for an advisor to help them kind of, move their business in another direction.
Okay. Okay. So you kind of you're doing what you did maybe at Sarah Lee, but you had to, in order to kind of adapt to what's happening in the market, you basically had to implement more services. Is that what I'm hearing?
Most definitely. I mean, because, and look, I don't want to age myself, but as I grew up into this environment, websites, social media, digital marketing, that didn't exist, back in my Sara Lee days, most definitely in my foot action days and then beyond. But you have to keep up with what's going on in the marketplace. You have to be astute to make sure that you understand the trends, understand, the capabilities of how this is going to end up being a part of your marketing mix and stuff like that. And so most definitely had to reinvent myself. I always, over this COVID-19, I took 2 courses at Northwestern University to get certificates based on things that I thought would be beneficial and enhance my skill sets. So I'm always learning. I'm always trying to learn and everything else. And so I would encourage anybody to do the same.
Dual education and learning, it's just part of the era that we're living in now, because technology is just growing fast, and if you don't stay up on things, then things you can kind of get lost in left behind. Um, so the market, the mentoring. What type candidate are you looking for, and how does that work?
Well, you know what? I'm going to be very transparent. I am looking for young black men to mentor. I mean, these young men seem to be getting lost in this process at an early age, and they have no direction. If you look at the schools that they go in, they have nobody that looks like them or anything else. And so, those are the young people that I would like to help pull up in this process and everything else. But I gotta be clear with anybody who's listening and have a young man that needs a mentor. I'm tough. I mean, I expect them to follow certain guidelines on terms and conditions regarding what I'm looking from them and what they need to do in order to be successful, not just as a young person in this community, but in the corporate structure. Because in the corporate structure, if you have no guidance, they will eat you alive and spit you out and then not even look back at you. And so those are the people that I'm looking forward to continue my work with young black men to help them, transition from high school to college or to vocational schools, whatever they want to do. But there's rules and regulations in this world that you have to follow.
Okay. And we have a ticker going across that has James's website. So those of you that are interested or know someone that might be interested, please reach out to him. I can tell you that coming into working in corporate America and now working in the federal government, I do see a lot of people trying to bring home into the corporate arena. And there's a different culture, there's a different mindset, there's even a different language. And if you're not mentored or taught to be able to function in that type of environment, it can be kind of challenging for you and limit your growth. So for him to offer this type of a service, if you know someone, please make sure that they reach out to him and have that conversation. So let me just ask you this. What advice would you give to someone right now that is transitioning and they've lost their job for whatever reason, COVID-19, and what advice would you give? James?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Unfortunately, I was backstage for a minute. The advice that I would give any individual would be, you know what, be yourself, tighten up, strengthen your weaknesses that you know of, and be confident in what you bring to an organization. And I'm just add a little bit more to that with everything that's going on in this country and companies talking about erasing racism and diversifying the workforce and everything else. Listen, continue to do you and be the person that you are in order to get into the organization. There still might be some bumbling and tumbling throughout the process, but find a mentor internally and externally to be able to bounce things off of and everything else. It's critical that you have both of those elements, because at the end of the day, look, when I was in corporate America, I would usually be the most highest ranking black person. So there was nobody to mentor me. But I most definitely would go down and try to help younger people work through this process. Don't look, just please, I encourage everybody, find somebody externally and internally to always help you, because you're gonna need that.
Excellent advice. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. A internal and an external mentor. The internal mentor will help you navigate because they already understand the culture. They know who the players are. They know what to do and what not to do. So yeah, that's phenomenal. Um, I don't know if we have any questions for you. I don't see anything that's happening in the comments right now, but
There is a question, James. How important are formal qualifications versus experience?
oh, okay.
Well, that's a great question, actually. It all depends on the organization. I can tell you here in Houston, the oil and gas industry experience trump qualifications. There's people without any formal education, but they got a lot of experience and they seem to elevate themselves within this industry and everything else. And so it just depends on the industry that you're in, as well as the company that's pursuing you. I mean, retail is another company. Hey, if you started in a store as a store clerk, you can end up in the corporate office in 10 years and then move up and everything else without any formal education. So again, it all depends on the industry that you work in and you're trying to pursue.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I think we're getting towards the end of our segment here. Are there any final words for us?
Yes. First and foremost, please have me back. I truly apologize for not being on the screen via video and everything else. I don't know what happened. It might be on my end. So that's number one. Number two, continue your work in this space. This is truly needed, and let's get more people involved in viewing you, because again, there's not a lot of outlets of positivity that's hanging
Yes.
around here and everything else. I mean, social media has become so. Ugh, ugh, so again, please stay strong, stay safe, and continue this journey. I promise you, you will see week after week more people being involved and wanting to hear from each of your guests about how they can impact their lives and everything else. So kudos to you. I think this was a great start, and please have me back.
I definitely will. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I'm sorry. Hold on, because
Oh,
there's
wait, we have
there's
one more question.
yeah. The question is, what is the best way platform for young men to reach you for mentorship? You know what? My website has been scrolling there. Go to my website. There's a contact us, and you can go there, and then I will receive that email, and I will respond to you expeditiously.
And I do see that there's one more question. It hasn't come on the screen, but I think we have time to do it. It said, what motivated you and pushed you into marketing and the branding space?
You know what? That's a great question. I mean, because I started out in sales and I truly saw the impact and the narrative of how marketing really told the true story and everything. And I wanted to be I wanted to sit at the table and make sure that people that look like us was actually being a part of some of those commercials. And I'll never forget this. If I have a couple of minutes to say, I remember being at Coca-Cola and we did a Diet Coke commercial. Spike Lee was the director, and it was done with In Vogue. And we were trying to run that commercial on the Cosby Show, and NBC said that commercial was too risque. Hey, it told me then that despite who you might have, if you wanted to get a bigger audience, you still have to go through certain obstacles and everything else. I wanted to make sure that I was making an impact and that the viewers were seeing us positively and not negatively in print and on radio, hearing us and seeing us on TV.
And I know some of the other work that you've done, so I know that you're very true and passionate about that. So thank you so much for your presence and the impact that you've made in the marketing space. Again, thank you for being my guest, and I definitely will have you back. And it's just been a pleasure with you being here with me today.
No, I appreciate it. And one more thing, and I can keep going and going, but anybody who's out there that's looking for their kids to attend any HBCUs, one of my other clients is the Black College Expo. We will help kids get money for scholarship and for college and everything else. So please go to my website, reach out to me. We can talk about those things as well. Kim, you need to have me back to talk about HBCUs and talk about college and talk about kids trying to get into colleges because of the cost is just ridiculous right now. So
Yes, 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 definitely. Well, I will be reaching out. So I hope that you answer the phone. No, just joking. Um,
okay.
just joking.
uh,
Just kidding.
right. I'm gonna leave on this note. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
I do too. Have a good day today. Thank you.
You too. Well, everybody, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining. I am, excited. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, and but the content was still there. It's still the same. It doesn't change. And what James Gilmer brings to the table is unprecedented, and especially with him offering to mentor and to help with college enrollment. So, these are some powerful resources. His contact information was scrolling. And so please make sure that you reach out and utilize the information that was provided here. Stay safe. This is a pandemic. We've never been here before, but we're navigating and we're surviving, and we're making a difference. Like and share this broadcast if it was inspiring for you. And remember, silence creates distance, but conversations with Kim builds the village.